All right, UFC 259 went down on Saturday night, as you all know by now. And one of the big winners in the prelims is this man joining me right now, who improved to 4-0 in the UFC. He's 14-0 overall, second straight submission win, this time over Jake Matthews, and has now entered the top 15 in the welterweight division. Sean Brady is here, the man with the incredible back tattoo that people just cannot shut up about. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Life couldn't be much better. Big win. Got in the top 15 yesterday, so I'm a very happy man right now.
How often are you asked about the back tattoo, man? Like it's between you and Alexander Volkov when it comes to like the viral back tats in the UFC. These are the ones that get brought up the most. Like, how often is the tattoo brought up to you?
A lot, and it's crazy because like I like my back tattoo, but like I have other tattoos that I love so much more than my back, like other Japanese style tattoos. I'm actually getting tattooed on Tuesday. So once I'm done fighting, I'm getting work added on. So I'm trying to completely cover my body. But the back tattoo, because it's just so big, you know, so that's the first thing people see. With a lot of my other tattoos, it's a smaller space. So you have to look and like really see what it is. With the back tattoo, and people think it's a big devil mask, but it's really a Japanese Hanya mask. So a lot of people just look at it, they're like, oh, look at the big red devil, because it's just so big. But I get asked about it a lot, but it's all good.
Whose is better, yours or Drago Volkov's?
His is done good. There's a page I actually follow on Instagram. They post all Japanese stuff, and the guy's actually a big fan of MMA and UFC, and he posted Volkov's when he was fighting, and then he tagged the artist, and I was looking at the artist's stuff, and I was talking to my tattoo artist about it. He was like, hey, the guy's actually really, really good. So it's done well. It's a good tattoo. I actually think that's a cover up as well. So it's done well. It's a good tattoo.
It is a good tattoo. You can't take your eyes off of it. What are you going to get this time around?
So I have my right leg is fully open. I'm starting a samurai versus a tiger on my entire right leg. But the bottom of my right leg has tattoos already. So I have to get it lasered to get it lightened up a little bit so I can get it covered. So we're starting the upper part of my thigh this coming week. So I'm trying to do as much as I can before I start camp again.
How long is that all going to take?
It won't be done for a long time. Like I actually sleeves, and it just depends. Like I have really big thighs too. So my left leg sleeve, which is a dragon, took over a year just because of training and stuff like that. So it's going to take a while, but it's an ongoing process. So I enjoy getting tattooed and I enjoy the ride. So it's all good.
We could talk about tattoos for hours, Sean. You have like 7,000 more than I do. But listen, another great performance. Congratulations on the win. Heading into this fight, I felt like people still had some questions about you, Sean. Like they weren't completely sold for some reason. But fighting a guy like Jake Matthews, I think people felt like this would be the one to answer all of those questions. And you did that with flying colors. You were obviously the betting favorite. But did you feel like maybe you weren't getting the respect from the MMA community heading into this fight that you probably should have?
Yeah, I mean, Jake's a super tough guy. Jake's literally been in the UFC since he was like 19 years old on The Ultimate Fighter. I turned pro when I was 21, around the similar time, but he was in the UFC. So all that experience definitely plays into it. But I honestly didn't see anything too negative. I seen a lot of people had me winning the fight against Jake. And I don't really pay attention to that stuff anyway. But yeah, Jake's super tough, and he's a big 170 pounder. He hits hard. He has really good jiu-jitsu. So it was on paper, it was a good matchup. And for me to do what I did, I think it proved to everybody who I am. And I'm a problem in this division for a lot of guys. So.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the fight on paper. It was one of those fights in my eyes. Like the more I looked at it, it was one of those things like the longer it went, the better it was for you, because he likes to come out fast.
Yeah.
But he does have the tendency to sort of fade down the stretch, especially if someone can put him on his back, which you can do. Turns out you're able to get going right away and start building that momentum early. What did you make of the way he came out, his game plan, and how you were able to execute it for as long as the fight lasted?
So my entire training camp, we had a little bit different game plan going in. So my entire training, say a camp's 10 weeks long. For 8 weeks, my camp was, I was kicking the lead leg a lot because Jay kind of has a karate stance, you know, like it's kind of sideways, his knee points in. So my game plan coming into the fight was to hammer his lead leg. 2 weeks out from the fight, I kicked somebody's knee, and I honestly thought I broke my foot. I couldn't walk. And then it started to feel a little bit better. My next sparring session, I kicked somebody's knee again. So I could barely walk. And so my game plan had to shift a little bit. And he stayed a little bit further away than I thought he was going to. Like, he likes to leap in with punches. So I thought he was going to be a little bit closer and I'd be able to kick that leg. But I knew if I kicked one time and if I hit his knee, I wouldn't be able to walk. So that game plan kind of went out the window and I had to lean more on the grappling. And honestly, I really thought he was going to be a lot stronger on the ground. I've seen him grapple with a lot of high-level guys and do very well. It just shows how good my grappling is and how good my wrestling is. So yeah, it went very good for me. I'm happy.
How bad was the foot? Did it get like to that scary place where you almost weren't going to be able to make it?
Never, man. This camp, like the last month of my camp was crazy. I got COVID a month out, so I had a quarantine for 8 days at my house. Luckily, I have a treadmill and I have weights and I wasn't affected too bad. I lost my smell. I lost my taste. And so I was running just 5-6 miles every day on my treadmill. A buddy of mine recently had COVID, who's a jiu-jitsu guy. He's actually a blue belt under me. So I was beating him up in my garage for an entire week until I could go back to training. So I got COVID. I came back to training. I hurt my foot. And then a week out, I have bulging disc in my back. My back locked up. I could barely get out of bed. But never once did it cross my mind that I was pulling out of this fight. You know, maybe when I was a younger guy, I just like, I'll just pull out. But I'm at the point in my career, I need to rally off these wins. And I knew once I got in there, as long as I got into the cage physically, I could win the fight. So the entire fight week, I was just kind of trying to heal my body up and just make it to the cage.
Man, fighting's easy, right?
Yeah, fighting that was the easier part for sure.
The second round, that's when like you really took over the fight. You even got a 10-8 on one of the judges' scorecards. So like between the second and third rounds, when you're sitting on the stool, you must have felt confident that the finish was near.
I felt great, man. And even the third round, I hit him with a left hand and I dropped him to a knee. And I feel like I'm just so composed now, like where other guys might have tried to rush it. And Jake has a good overhand. So I dropped him and I was kind of looking at him like, all right, maybe I'll go in. But I knew he wasn't fully out of it. So I feel like I showed some good composure there and just kept my cool. And yeah, man, once I was on top of him, he wasn't getting up and I knew the finish was near. I think I looked up in the third round, there was 2 minutes left and I was hitting him with some good ground and pound. I was like, I can probably finish him. And once I folded his wrist over, I felt the arm triangle and that's actually my bad side. My good side's my right side. So, but I heard him gargling. I squeezed and got the tap.
That was your first arm triangle submission, right?
Yeah, and it's my first third round finish. So I was stoked about that. To be able to finish guys in the third round is a good thing to know.
Yeah, especially a guy like that. That's a good name to have on the resume.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like your striking's gotten a lot better too.
Yeah.
Like, have you noticed that? Like, does it feel a little more comfortable in there?
In the room, bro, if people could see, like my training partners know, my coaches know, I light people up on the feet. Like my stand up is really good. My boxing, my kicking. Most people can't handle my stand up in the room, but actual fighting is a little bit different and the range always feels a little bit different. So once my striking catches up to my confidence of my grappling, I think I'm gonna beat a lot of these top guys. And I'm just getting more confident with each and every fight.
This was like we kind of alluded to earlier, this is a statement win kind of by definition, right? Because you're a matchup with Bilal, the fight fell through, and you've been wanting to fight top 15 guys. I know the last time we spoke, Robbie Lawler is a name that stuck out to you. Yeah. And while you were probably on their radars, this win had to have put you over the top and gotten the attention of not just like, 10 through 15, but everybody. Like they're looking at you now. Like, do you feel that way as well? Like that this was the one to get you over that hump, so to speak?
Yeah, for sure. And especially being ranked. I knew there was a chance like fighting Jake because he's 6-1 in welterweight, 6-2 now. But I knew there was a chance even since we weren't ranked, there was a chance whoever won this fight was going to get ranked. So yesterday, I was sitting in my sauna just looking at my phone. And I seen someone put something on Twitter and I went and I looked and the UFC's page wasn't updated. I was like, I didn't get ranked, whatever. Then I went and looked again and it had me ranked. And I was like, man, that's going to open up a lot of people's eyes. So they had me at 14. I'm looking at all the guys right there, and I'm even looking at the top 10 guys. I know Demian Maia doesn't have a fight. I know Michael Chiesa doesn't have a fight. I'll fight any of these guys. So it's just a waiting game to see who they want to give me.
Demian Maia is a really interesting option because it would be his last fight.
Yeah, he doesn't have a fight. He hasn't fought in almost a year. They still have him ranked, so I'm assuming he still wants to fight. I would love that fight, so we'll see.
That would be something.
Yeah,
that'd be a really interesting test for you because he's still. I mean, listen, he's up there in age, but he's such a specialist. Yeah.
If he climbs on your back or gets you on the ground, he'll strangle you. So I definitely would like that fight. There's so many matchups I can do. So we'll see. It's only a couple of days after the fight. I want to let my body heal up a little bit more. But I'm already back training, striking. I have really bad mat burn on my knees from the canvas. So I'll probably try to start jiu-jitsu within like next couple of days. But I gotta let those scabs heal up.
Would Maia be like your top option, perfect world kind of scenario?
No, anyone in the top 15. Like they have me ranked now, which is cool, but I need to show that I belong there. I know I belong there, but I need to fight a top 15 guy to show everybody what's up.
The first thing I thought of when I saw the rankings was now he's ranked higher than Robbie Lawler. So based on the numbers and ranking, et cetera, like that fight becomes much more enticing for him should he want to go that direction. I know you mentioned Li Jingliang as an option, and I'll tell you, go ahead.
I think that'd be perfect. Him, he fought Jake. Jake beat him, and Jake beat him pretty significantly. And I just did what I did to Jake. I would like to. He's ranked number 12. I'm 14. I think that's a good fight too.
Yeah, like we host a matchmaking show on the website, and a popular name thrown out was Neil Magny. A lot of people want to see you and Neil Magny fight. Like, but just nice. Like you wake up, it's a Wednesday as you record, and there's a lot of doors that could be open for you. It's got to feel good.
I was actually just training with Neil. Neil's a good buddy of mine. I don't want that fight. I like Neil a lot, and we've been training together a decent amount lately, and I would like to keep that going. So hopefully that's not the name they send me. There's so many other options, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, he's so many doors open. It's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Outside of typical post-fight annoyances, I mean, you're good to go. Didn't see your name in the medical suspensions. You got some lingering injuries, nothing crazy, but
I'm hurt. I'm not injured. We're always hurt. There's always little dings, and I'm just going to let some of these things heal up. But hopefully, I'm thinking like June timeframe. A couple months from now. So we'll see. I have to sit down with my manager, see what Sean Shelby and the guys want. But there's so many options. I'm excited.
Yeah, you go in, you get a win, you're in the top 15, come out relatively unscathed. Yeah. And the one thing missing on Saturday was the bonus. I mean, 15 fight card, the odds are kind of against you anyways, but still, was a part of you hopeful that an extra 50 G's might hit your bank account?
I'm always hopeful an extra 50 G's is going to hit my bank. But the prelims were going, like, we were in the back warming up, and I took like an hour nap in the back, and I woke up and we were watching the fights, and I'm like, man, it's finish. And after I fought, it kind of slowed down, and the card on paper was insane. It was a good card. I don't think it lived up to what it could have been. So at the end of the night, I knew I wasn't getting it, but I thought like it was going to be nowhere close. I was like, all right, like I got a good submission. I was like, but these next fights are going to be insane, and they weren't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. So it was lingering in my mind a little bit, but I was just happy with the win, man. I got both of my paychecks too, so a bonus is a bonus. I got paid in full, so I'm happy.
What did you think of Amanda Nunes' submission? Because not a lot of people are talking about it. They just expect her to go in and do what she does, but the submission was ridiculous.
I believe that people aren't talking about like how hard a triangle from the back is, especially against a girl who's competing for a UFC title, is it's very hard thing to do. Triangles from your back are crazy, but she literally got a triangle from having her back. And it's not an easy thing to do. Like, you don't see that too much in the room. So people are like talking about her overhand and everything. I was super impressed with her submission. She's a beast, man. There's no one messing with that chick. So she's such a nice girl too. Like, I seen her, I said hi to her. She like said hi to me. She's very nice, and she's a killer.
What did you think? about the bantamweight title fight. I know, you and Aljo, you both have that CFFC tie, and it was just unfortunate, man. Like nobody wins in that situation. It sucked. I mean, and there's backlash everywhere, and it's unfortunate. This is the big story heading out of a card of that nature. But what did you think of that whole situation watching it?
Clearly, the knee was super illegal. I don't know why Peter would throw that. It's Aljo was clearly down, but I don't think it should have been up to Aljo. It shouldn't be up to a fighter who just got kneed in the face as to what's going to play out. Like, I feel like there should be rules in play for that. Like if you get hit in the NFL, you don't, like, Tom Brady doesn't get to decide like what's going to, like, there's just rules in play. And I think I don't know. It's very unfortunate the way it happened. Clearly a super illegal knee. I don't think Aljamain was faking, he's coming out saying a lot of stuff and he has to defend himself. I mean, I don't know what I would do in that situation. It's easy to say, oh, you could just man up. You don't know how he was feeling. Most of the people were saying, no, just man up. Probably never even been slapped in their face, let alone kneed by a killer like Peter Yan in the mouth. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, it's crazy to watch. I'm curious to get your take on Saturday because Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad, that's a big one at 170. It's in your division. Bilal's ranked, I think, one spot above you right now. Yeah. Bilal could shake some things up on Saturday, but Edwards is a tough out, man. Who do you like in that one?
I don't know who's going to win, but I think it's going to go all 25 minutes. I don't think either guy's going to – neither one of them are two crazy finishers, but they both set a high pace, and I think it's going to go 25 minutes. I think Bilal's got better wrestling, so maybe if he throws in those takedowns, puts Leon on his back. But I was just watching Leon versus RDA, and he was taking RDA down. I just haven't watched Leon in so long because he hasn't fought in forever, so people forget how good he is. I think it's going to be a good fight, and I kind of called out Bilal after my fight, and I seen Big John McCarthy was like saying it was a bad call out because I was asking to get him off of a loss, and I understand. And now, like, when I heard it back, I was like, it does make sense. I should be calling somebody off a loss, but it wouldn't. If Bilal wins, he gets ranked number 3. He's not going to fight me. So I was just meaning like if he'd be closer to my ranking, and that's what I meant by that. So we'll see. I'm excited.
Big John's just poking and prodding at everybody these days.
Man, he gives me a lot of love. So that's he gives me a lot of love, and everywhere, every media thing I've seen, I've been getting a lot of love. So Paul Felder was super happy for me. He hit me up and he said people were blowing him up about how excited they are for me. And yeah, I'm getting a lot of support. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I spoke with your man Eddie Alvarez about a month ago, and he couldn't stop singing your praises. So
I phoned him yesterday. He's getting ready to head out soon. So I told him if he needs anything before he heads out. He's fighting a guy a little bit taller than me, so I'm not the best look for him, but yeah, he's getting ready to go do his thing. Eddie's like a big brother to me. So having his support, he FaceTimed me the day of the fight. I got a lot of good people in my corner. Eddie's the man.
Absolutely. 2021 is shaping up to be a very good year for you, my man. Congratulations on another spectacular performance, Sean. Look forward to seeing who you get paired up with next, maybe in June, early summertime. But enjoy the win, enjoy the tats, and we'll talk soon, man.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.